Take me to church, shout. Get the sign of it out.
Still Panther Nation. Timmy V.O here. Eagles in Philly on the frickin' road. Couple plays away from knocking off another Super Bowl contender / champion. The fact that we came that close to beating the Chiefs and the frickin'. Am I optimistic? Hell, fuck yeah. Pardon my French. I mean, I can't help but be excited. But at the same time, when you see that kind of effort, that kind of talent getting it done, you're expecting to pull out a freaking W. Between that, the Bucks, and this is a reminder, ladies and gentlemen. There's a fine line between good and great in the NFL. Greatness normally comes from consistency, overcoming the odds, focus, execution. Whether it's 11, whether it's 1, execution, consistency. That's that fine line, and we saw it from the Eagles. We saw it from the Chiefs. Special teams all along the line. It is what it is. So, welcome to Monday in the Box. Let's get started.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah. Whoa. Hey.
All right, let's run through the box real quick and just talk about the score. By quarter, obviously, the Panthers went up 3-0 and held the Eagles to 0 points in the first quarter. Excuse me. Ain't that something? I mean, I don't look at the box score. I don't look at it until I'm talking to you. You hold the Eagles to 0 points at home. Man, that says a lot. That says a lot. Second quarter, obviously, Philly got their wheels going. And one of those touchdowns is due to obviously Bryce throwing that pick. It looked to me, I haven't seen the all 22, but it seemed to me that the ball sailed on them. And if you notice during the game, if you was watching the game, the winds down there were, it was showing. You could obviously tell it. The storm front coming through from Canada and all of this shit. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why it wasn't 7-7 in the second. Instead, it was 14-7. All right. So, come out in the third once again, giving Philly an ego in the third quarter. And then obviously Pinero, excuse me, misses a field goal. We get 6 instead. And then they finally hold us to 0 points in the fourth quarter. Well, I should say we held ourselves to 0 points in the fourth quarter. And obviously the Eagles get their 8 points, and it is what it is. Wow, to be that close, man. To be that close. All right, so let's go to the team stats real quick. Again, this is it's good, but it's not good, obviously. All right, so Panthers had 69 plays, and the Eagles had 56. Obviously, we were. Man, I'll get to the time of possession on those scoring drives for us. Amazing, and we were doing this against the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. I mean, we played 3 of the top 5. We played 3 of the top 5. Denver, obviously, these guys. It seemed like somebody else had a really good defense. Anyway, so yeah, we ran 69 plays on these guys. We only got 302 yards, but we were holding it down when we actually got a good momentum going on our offense. Passing 19 of 34. It's not a great percentage per se. Hurts only threw the ball 21 times. But this is why they're like the number one running offense in the NFL. I'll get to Saquon's average here in a second. So yeah, passing yards, we only had a buck 84. Hurts only had 83 yards passing, folks. I mean, when you run the ball that well, that's weird, right? Had under 100 yards passing, and they still won the game. Amazing. Anyway, we had one passing touchdown. They had two passing touchdowns. Efficiency. All right. This speaks to the fact that we were taking advantage of in the red zone through the passing game, but they ran the ball all the way downfield. Anyway. Yeah, our defense is an issue. Passing average 5.4 to 4.0. Rushing attempts are almost even. However, 118 rushing yards to 209 by the Philly Eagles. Wow. I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row we gave up around 200 yards in rushing in the game. Actually, might have been 3 in a row. Check the box score. Moving on, rushing average, the 3.52, there's 6.7, right? And this is team rushing average, right? So this is not necessarily Saquon. This is everybody, right? So if you just look at what he was doing, oh my god. Penalties, dead even, basically. They had 0 turnovers. We have 1. That was a difference. Fine line. Man, I'll talk about that in a minute. That particular play when Bryce threw the pick, it was single high safety, and that normally tells you there's going to be man coverage, right? But the issue of what Bryce did, he keyed on Thielen running that route, and the safety was already shifting over towards that side of the field. And Bryce, if Bryce wanted to, because obviously again it's man, if Bryce wanted to, he could have looked off that safety because he had Johnson coming underneath, going the opposite direction. If he could, I'm not sure what the rest of the coverage looked like over there. Granted, but if it's man, anyway, it looked like he was getting ready to get open. If he could have held that ball just a split second more and turned his chin around that way, he probably could have hit him on that one. At least threw it over his head, maybe an incompletion, but not a turnover, right? But anyway, there I talked about it. Less to talk about later. By the way, thank you for watching Man in the Box from Pentagon's podcast. If you don't mind subscribing, I appreciate it. Moving on. All right, so yeah, when you don't turn the football over, folks, you have a better chance of winning the game. Obviously, 20 first downs to their 18 first downs. We were 7 of 16 on third downs, and 3 of 5 on fourth down, bro, on the road. Canales I think he was tired of Panera. Yeah, I think that's the issue. But he was ballsy, and Bryce was delivering. Whew, God, man, I got plenty of crow for you. I got plenty of crow for you folks out there. If you know, you know. Time of possession, we beat them out by 7 minutes. But that turnover and those drops were critical. Critical. We could have beat these guys in their own home, bro. Almost got there. All right, moving on to the players. Put this. I didn't save this screenshot, but Saquon Barkley, yeah, 20 carries, $124. So he did average 6.2. But Kenneth Gainwell, he carried the ball 3 times, and for an average of 8.7, and Jalen Hurts had an average of 7.4. They'll make you pay. They will make you pay. Whew. But anyway, all right. So the Panthers, obviously. Bryce, yeah, like I mentioned on his percentage, 55.9% on his completions. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Chuba, big congrats to Chuba, by the way. Not only did he get all of the carries, he got that 1,000 yard. He's that 1,000 yard mark. I thought he got 1,000 last year, but he got 9 and some change. But this year he finally. It's a good time to do it too, right? So and solidify the fact that yeah, they gave you a small bag, so to say, but a bag nonetheless, and you get that 1,000. Beautiful, beautiful, love it. Adam Thielen just balling again, folks. He's just balling again. You see it. You see it. I feel bad for him, bro. But man, hey. This is where you learn to be a pro. 8 targets, 2 catches, 2 big catches, but 2 catches. Could have been a third with him, bruh. Yeah. David Moore, 5 targets, 2. He only had 2 catches. Chuba, see, Chuba been working on his hands. You guys remember he had some drops a couple games in a row. But he was really catching the ball comfortable too, man. Hands tuck, gone, beautiful. Tommy Trimble's coming back. It's good. It's good to see him out there, being himself again. Sanders was on the field, but oh man, that just hit me in my head. If JT, I don't know if he didn't think Bryce could get it down to him there or not, but if JT, if first quarter, mind you, if JT is running down the field, I mean, if on that scramble very early in the game, if JT is running down the field instead of backpedaling, that was a touchdown, right? Yeah, yeah, that would have been a huge play. People forget about that too. But anyway, but yeah, it's good to see Trimble out there, man. I'm glad he got a touchdown out of there. But yeah, Xavier. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Between this and the Chuba fumble, it's Mm. Shout out to the coaching staff. These guys came out to play. They came out to play. All right, going to the defense. Good Lord of mercy. Jewel is he's flying around out there, man. 2 tackles for a loss. 1.5 sack. He's flying around out there. Well, the one situation that really bugged me about Josie, when he was sent on a blitz. This could be Evero calling it, but I think Jewel just went. He went a little too crazy on the blitz. So from the defensive side, I'm looking at the offense. He was like, I think he was over the left guard of the offense. And then maybe center A gap area, and he went flying on like a hook towards the 7 or towards that outer edge of the O line. And since it was a blitz, obviously, I believe it was man coverage. I believe it was zero coverage. That's when Hurts broke that long run. That is a very long run. That was that situation. He went around the outside and then Hurts hit that back foot, took a step up, and was like, oh shit. Yeah. So, but outside of that, man, he was flying around, dude. He had some big plays. JC had a growing injury, I believe. And I don't know if it's a strain. Hopefully, it's not anything significant. But yeah, that's what that was. It wasn't his foot, thank God. But yeah, he was out there doing his thing. Trevor Wallace, Ashawn, big sack. He had a big sack there. But he's been very disruptive since he's came back. So, yeah, so that's beautiful to see. Um, Xavier Woods was putting in work. DJ Johnson, where's he at? Bro, see, this is what you call an unrecognized influence on the game. DJ Johnson's a stud. Every time they ran to his side of the ball, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Go watch the tape. Mm-mm. You find number 52. You find DJ in a run play. See what happens when they run at him. Then go ahead, look for yourself. Go ahead. I dare you. Mm-mm. 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 But yeah. I mean, he didn't have a big numbers in the stats, but he was influential. That goes without saying. So, offense. I can't wait to Coker gets back. Coker he makes that catch. He makes that catch. I don't care what you say. I mean, come on. I think we can all remember back when Bryce threw that deep ball to him, and he reached out full extension, caught that bad boy and brought it in. Right? He catches that ball. That's a touchdown. Yeah, Coker makes that catch. Yeah, I ain't knocking on Xavier. Come on, man. I mean, I, I'm extremely disappointed about the fact that this stuff gets in his head. I I get it, but that disappoints me. Because you're thinking about not dropping a ball and not thinking about catching the ball. It's a different approach. Being aggressive to the football, bringing that ball in, making sure that's thinking about catching it. When you bring it in and you're trying to hug on it and love it, you're worried about dropping it. I'm worried about catching the football. Worried about dropping the football. He worries too much. He doesn't trust his hands. When you're in the game and you're not thinking about stuff, it shows. He catches the ball with his bodies so many times. So when that ball does hit your hand, it's not natural. It's not natural because you're not confident. And again, I hate it for him, man. He's a talented athlete. He's talented. I wish he'd go and work with Chris Carter. You know, go work with some of the best hands in the game. I mean, go, bro. Find somebody, man. Primary Testament. Chuba Hubbard went and worked with CMC for I believe it's his rookie year when he came in. After this rookie year, went to Denver. I believe it was somewhere in Colorado and worked out with that guy. Any questions? Xavier needs to find an accountability buddy. Get them hands right, man. I mean, for real. O-line. I'm Dan Morgan, bro. Dan Morgan, hold on. The Eagles had one sack. The Eagles had one sack. That defense. And you saw what Bryce was doing with his legs. Escaping, resetting, tossing. Eyes downfield at all times, for the most part. He's shifty, man. He's having fun out there. He's doing this thing. Hey, I'm used to this. Hey, I'm used to this. I'm Bryce Young. Hey, I'm telling you, Bryce he has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. He has arrived. But yeah, I just wanted to show that stat real quick, man. We have 4 sacks from Jalen Hurts, mind you. Um, and the Eagles only had one, but they had that one pick. So our offense has the potential to do a lot of good things. And I hope what happened to Brooks, it was the same. It was the same knee he injured in Texas, by the way. That's now. Granted, he wasn't privy to NFL doctors and things of that nature. So now that he's a Carolina Panther, I mean, rehabbing is rehabbing is tough because you have to be extremely what is known as cognizant, right? You have to really be dialed in on what you need to do on a daily basis. That includes diet. Um, Rehab's hard. It's harder than people think if you've never been through some type of physical rehab. I used to be a certified trainer, so I understand the concepts. Um, is because you got to be with it, right? Or you'll just half-ass it, and then you'll just get injured again, and then you have a reoccurring injury. Then you'll never be back to where you were, and what I'm saying. So, and that hits your pockets. So our offense has a lot of potential, and I have a lot of faith in Morgan and his scouting team. So and Canales is he's doing what he can with what he got. He's doing pretty good. And this is a reminder on why you need to build your offensive line. And what this franchise did to Cam Newton and not putting this O line together once we lost Khalil, once we lost Khalil, once we lost um our 2015 O line when Trey and all those guys, we didn't replace them. We didn't get an O line steady. And by the time we did, and that was what was that 26 whenever Cam got his shoulder, the Steelers game. I think that was 2017. But anyway, yeah, it was so that was almost 2 seasons where we didn't even really get the O line right like we should have. But it is what it is. Um, and then we try to bring in um, Teddy, and our O line still kind of wasn't like that. You have to start in the trenches, folks, and that's anyway. Defense. We're the last in the league in rushing defense. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? We don't have the players to get it done. We don't have the players to get it done. And yet we still almost beat the Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Bucks, who has a really good offense. And we almost beat the Philadelphia Eagles at home. And they've won 7, 8 straight. The defense is doing enough because our offense puts pressure on their offense by scoring. Everett's a smart guy. And you have to realize, folks, again, we brought in a lot of new players on defense. So you're learning the system, you're learning the lingo, you're getting used to people flying around and where they're supposed to be and communication and all that good stuff. And it's very evident that Jewel coming back made that defense better. If you remember when him and Shaq were out and we had Wallace, the rookie, making calls, things of that nature, it was ugly. But because we lost to teams that were not as good as the Chiefs, not as good as the Eagles. We lost to teams like that. I got all the confidence in the world in Evero, considering. I mean, for real. I mean, what considering. I have a lot of confidence in Evero. Say what you want. Yeah. Special teams. We are thin, Jack. I'm not quite sure Black Shear is going to be available next week. But yeah. So that's where we're at, folks. In my opinion, we have a great chance to be a really good offense. if we keep Evero in place and we bring back key players in draft defense, BPA, first, second, I think we'll be fine. Well, let me adjust that. BPA based on the front seven, not the back end. We don't need to draft DBs that high. We don't. Like I just mentioned, if you don't stack your front on either side of the ball, you're screwed. You can't stop the run, and you can't run the ball. You can't protect your quarterback. So, and on defense, stopping the run is priority number one. Always. That's how a team has a quarterback that threw for less than 100 yards, but threw 2 touchdowns because the running game got them from A to X. Then was a YZ by the quarterback. We should be drafting D-line linebacker. You say what you want about the linebacker position. I love Shaq, bro. I got much respect for that man. What he went through with his moms and getting injured and bro, much respect. Much respect, but we need to draft a linebacker in the top 3. Good. Hopefully we can do that. And I'm not saying that to replace Shaq, but we need to start grooming somebody besides Wallace. Just because. I mean, if you're going to run that style of defense, you need to bring in key elements. First pick should be spent on a D lineman. I mean, I know people are saying pass rusher, but there's pass rushers around the league, right? We can bring in guys in that regard. I think that'll be more beneficial. But in terms of the trenches, we need to get young, fast, and strong. We need to put somebody next to Brown that can get it done. Real talk. But yeah, our secondary will benefit from having more veterans. The back end is so it relies a lot on continuity and communication. So that's a benefit that veterans bring. So you don't have to worry about that quite as much, but that costs money. So it is what it is. All right. So thanks for listening to Monday in the Box with your host, Timmy V.O. Again, subscribe if you want to. You don't have to. I do this for free. I do this for fun because I'm a Panther fan and I have skills. Appreciate y'all Panther fans. Keep out.